Good morning and welcome to Saturday's special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. We see all around us the rise of atheism, and whatever research has been done, whatever posts have been given, people all over are showing an inclination not to believe in religion, not to believe in God. On the other hand, new forms of religion are evolving. So, what would happen? Would the concept of religion be dumped into the dustbin of history? Or would it survive? Would spirituality soon be a thing of the past? The answer is far from simple. As I said, a large number of people, millions worldwide, say that they believe that life infinite definitely ends at the death, that there is no God, no afterlife, no divine plan. And it is an outlook that could be gaining momentum. Although it lacks cheer because it lacks a support. I don't believe in God, but I fully believe that the people who believe in God, who believe in religion, they have something to fall back on if they don't have the confidence in themselves. In some countries, openly acknowledged atheism has never been more popular. And would you believe I was talking to Professor Phil Zuckerman, a professor of sociology, and he told me that there are absolutely more atheists around today than ever before. And I agree with that. And they are more in sheer number as well as in percentage of humanity. A Gallup poll was conducted in 57 countries and the respondents were 50,000, quite a large sample. And the number of the individuals claiming to be religious fell from 77 in 2005 to 68% in 2011, while those identified themselves as atheists rose by 3%. So, on the one side, the fall is of almost 10%, and then increases of the atheists is by 3%. Combine both, and there are you. Now, while atheists certainly are not in a majority, though they are in a large number, but still they have an impact. But then the increasing number of these is a sign of the things to come. Assuming that the global trend continues, would religion disappear? Maybe. In centuries or decades? No. You see, part of the religion's appeal is that it offers security in an uncertain world. The sense of security, the sense of somebody looking after you, the sense of, okay, we'll be taken care of. An omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, merciful heaven would be there. But at the same time, not surprisingly, nations that report the highest number of atheism are those that provide their citizens with high economic, political, and existential stability. For example, there are more atheists in USA than there are, say, in Uganda. That means when the people are rich, where relatively high economic, political, and social stability is there, people tend to become irreligious. Security in society diminishes religious belief. But then look at the number of haves and have-nots. So the have-nots are definitely a large number. For example, in India, the 95% of the wealth is with the top 5%. So in the remaining 95%, who have just 5% of the wealth, they believe in God, they believe in religion. So capitalism and access to technology and education correlates to the increase of religion. Now look at Japan, UK, Canada, South Korea, Netherlands, Czech Republic, Estonia, Germany, France, and Uruguay. These are the countries where the majority of the citizens have European roots. And they are all places where religion was very important a century ago. But now, these are the countries which have the maximum number of atheists, non-believers. And these countries feature strong educational social security systems, low inequality, and relatively high people. You see what happens? When the people are less scared about what might befall them, they don't need religion. Yet decline in belief systems is occurring in the world. If you compare the society today, the totality, you would feel that few societies are more religious today than they were 50 to 40 years back. The only exception might be Italy, Iran, where they're tricky because the secular people might be hiding their beliefs. They don't believe in God, but then... So the Muslim world, where atheism is almost a sin and a crime, people would pose to be religious even when they are not. Now, USA is an exception. It's one of the wealthiest countries in the world, but can amazingly the high rate of people believing in religion. There was a Pew survey between 2007 to 2012. Yes, I remember. The proportion of the people who believed they were atheists rose from 1.6 to only 2.4%. So, remaining 97%, at least they claim to be religious. So decline does not mean disappearance. So let's clear. When the people say religion will disappear, they think that because it's declining it will disappear. It would not. Existential security is much more important than security. In a moment of danger, everything can change. Everything. A drunk driver can kill a loved one. A tornado can destroy a town. A doctor can issue a terminal diagnosis. And then you say, oh God, come and help us. So, people want to escape suffering. But if they can't get out of it, then they go to religion. Paradoxically, for some reason, psychological, religion seems to give meaning to suffering, much more so than any other secular belief or belief that we believe in. So when the suffering is there, religion comes in. And we know happiness is an occasional episode in the general drama of pain. So this phenomena plays out in the hospital rooms and the disasters around the world. In 2011, a massive earthquake hit New Zealand, a highly secular society. That is one country where more than 80% are agnostics, if not atheists. And then after the earthquake, there was a huge spike in religiosity in the people who experienced the event. But then in that area of Christchurch, people became highly religious. More churches, more temples were open. People are going more to the... But all over the other part of the country, apart from Christchurch where the earthquake took place, people remain still religious, agnostic, if not atheist. So there are exceptions to this rule. Look at World War II when Japan had horrible exposure to the nuclear bombs. And the people remained what they were. The number didn't increase. But when you experience something terrible that caused all people to become atheists, then we will be atheists. So until and unless people can learn not to believe in religion, even in the time of a disaster, the religion would continue to hold sway. Then what's the mind of God? Even if the word trouble were miraculously solved and we live in equity, religion would still be around. Why? This is because God-shaped holes exist in our psyche. Our neuropsychology, thanks to a quirk of our evolution, wants to rely on something. The psychological staple says that we have two basic forms of thought. Now this is very important from psychology point of view. System 1 and System 2. System 2 came later on, that is scientific one. By the voice in our head, the narrator who never seems to shut up, that enables us to think logically. On the other side, System 1 is intuitive, instinctive and automatic. And these capabilities human automatically, when a child is born, he looks to the mother, then to the father, then to a sibling. He always wants to depend on somebody. And that dependence from the mother to the father to the sibling to the teacher is gradually transferred to God. All right? So that instinct, that System 1 is so potent that you cannot simply get rid of. And then, in addition to helping us face up dangers of the world and find a mate, some scholars think that the System 1 enabled religions to evolve and perpetuate. And that perpetuation continues till today. It's a phenomena. We call it hypersensitive agency detection. Millennia back, the tendency helped us to avoid concealed danger. But we are vulnerable human beings. So System 1 encourages us to think dualistically. That means that we are capable to have trouble thinking of the mind and body as a single unit. We take these to be separate. And that's what I have been saying in all my statements concerning mind, conquest of mind, that you cannot divorce mind from the body. If your body is diseased, your mind would suffer. But if your mind is strong enough, then the body's suffering would not impact it. So this tendency emerges quite early. Young children, regardless of their cultural background, are inclined to believe that they have an immortal soul. And this is amazing, Nobody has taught them. But then still they believe. And the immortality is my dad will come and bang you. Now dad, from the physical one, transferred to the transcendental dad. This belief in God is, as I said, a transferred belief, the way we have transferred appetites. So, for all these reasons, I can tell you, religion arose as a product of our cognitive disposition. And there are religious arrangements that evolve to engage and exploit the natural element. Then it's a matter of habit. Even those people who don't believe in religion, when the danger comes, they believe. There are exceptions like me. I may say, even in my worst disease, I've been told to pray, and I said, hell with it, I'm not. So human beings naturally want to believe that they're a part of something bigger. And what's that bigger? The cosmos. Then the cosmos, if it's bigger, somebody must have created it. So God is there. The human mind craves purpose and explanation. Now, the people who have the explanation don't believe in God. But people who cannot explain the purpose and explanation, they don't have the critical thinking, they only trust their intuition, and intuition says, believe in something on which you can depend on. They are like, plants which need a support. Science, the system of choice that many atheists believe and look for, but is not an easy pill to swallow. Let's be very clear. We must accept the fact that the earth spins, even though we never experience the sensation. But the people say, no, it doesn't spin. The full, for example, Muslims even today would not believe that the earth moves around the sun. No, the fundamentalists. The educated one, so there is a conflict. And then the mullahs, the uneducated one. I'm not talking of the people who are in Cairo University, Muslims, but I'm talking of person living in. For them, it's difficult to admit that there's anything wrong with the religion. The religion on the other side is mostly something we don't even have to learn. That's a problem. Science you have got to learn. Objectivity you have got to learn. Logic you have got to learn. Religion is something which comes instinctively to you. And that's a problem. Now, many around the world who explicitly say they don't believe in God still harbor superstitious tendencies, believe in ghosts, astrology, karma, telepathy, reincarnation. And all these are signs of religiosity, not of spirituality. Now let me tell you, I started by saying, would religiosity come to an end? And spirituality come to an end? The religiosity and the spirituality both will not end. Because even the agnostics believe in spirituality. And the non-agnostic, the theists, the believers, believe in all this jumbo mumbo, superstitious tendencies. And in Scandinavia, most country people I have met and talked to, they don't believe in God. But superstitious belief tend to be higher than you can imagine. The non-believers lead on what can be interpreted as religious proxies. Sports, teams, yoga, professional institutions, Mother Nature, as I'm fond of you might have heard me all the time saying that Mother Nature is a great thing. And that's a guiding value. But as a treatment to this, witchcraft is gaining popularity in the USA. And can you believe it? In USA, the biggest, fastest growing religions, paganism, the old time when the people believed were pagans. There was no organized religion. So the religion in one form or the other. Now, what comes is, the form of religion may change, but religion would remain. And it manifests in various bizarre ways. For example, some place in China, for example, called Wow, seem to be offering opportunity to develop certain moral traits in regular life. In a communist country, the word of witchcraft, that's what Wow. That's assuming spiritual importance. Look at Scientology. The people who are not Christians go to Scientology. In India, if you look, hundreds of religions keep on spawning and they keep on dying. And there's an in-group which believes that. So as long as the suffering continues, as long as people tend to follow the beaten track, and the children then, when the parents are religious, the children automatically copy them and become religious. So for all these reasons, psychological, neurological, historical, cultural and logistic, religion will probably never go away. Religion, whether it's maintained through fear or love, is highly successful in perpetuating itself. It perpetuates itself. Form changes, but the thing remains the same. You see how many religions have been there, Abrahamic and non-Abrahamic, right from the beginning. Cults, religions, all that. So the form would change, and quite possible, atheism might become a religion by itself. And if you lose sight of the Christian, Muslim and Hindu gods, and all other gods, superstition and spiritualism will always prevail. Former religions, systems, they might only be for a short life. Organized religion possibly would wither away. But the concept of religion in one form or the other would continue to be there because humans need comfort in the face of life, in the face of pain and suffering. And many need to think that there is something more after this life, and they are loved by an invisible being. There are always people who believe it. I won't be surprised if they remain in majority. And that's why religion would never, never be abolished from this world. And that is a tragedy for logical thinking. But then that's the reality of life. You can't change the reality for false hopes. We have got to be realistic. Thank you.